It's a bonus episode of Locked On Ducks, and I've got my furry friend here. We're going to talk about the Ducks' last game against the Avs. There were some good signs, some not so good signs, all of that and more on this edition of Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Right, pup? Yeah, that's right.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to this bonus edition of Locked On Anaheim Ducks. I'm Jason Hernandez. This is Zuri. Say hi to the people, Zuri. How's it going? There we go. Don't forget this podcast is free and available across all platforms. She looks bored, so I'm just going to put her down, but say hi to the folks, Zuri. All right, I'm going to put her down here. This is a this is a bonus episode, by the way, so this won't count as a regular episode. This will be a quick one, a quick 2 segment as we talk about the Ducks' last game against the Colorado Avs. And this was kind of a weird one that I actually didn't watch live. I had to go back and watch it the following day. This one was encouraging to me for a number of reasons. And one of my favorite good signs about that last game was that the Anaheim Ducks did not give up despite getting outshot what seemed like a bajillion to 20. No, it was really 49 to 20, which may as well have been a bajillion to 20, but it was 49-20 in favor of the Colorado Avalanche. Those first 2 periods, by the way, Colorado outshot Anaheim 35-11. Yeah, you heard that right. The Ducks were outshot in every period, including overtime, by the way. Spoiler alert. But I want to get to, I guess, my 2 big things from this game. 1, despite the fact that the Ducks did get themselves behind on this game, I mean, they got off to a hot start in the first period, and then after that, things kind of fell apart. They allowed 3 quick goals after that, and I'll admit I was doing public address, and I had the phone on the corner of my eye. As soon as I saw Ross Colton's 2 goals, I thought, oh, crap, here we go again. I legit thought, okay, this might be over. It's okay. The Ducks still have a couple of wins. And luckily, there was a timeout in the action of the game I was doing PA for when Troy Vetchkin scored. So that's one of my big good signs for this game, is that this is the kind of game that the Ducks would not have even gotten a point on, much less try to win. If this was a game 2 to 3 years ago, they would have just folded over and got beat by a couple of goals. They would have allowed an empty net goal towards the end and lost by 2 goals. Or the comeback would have fallen short and just lose by 1 goal. That didn't happen either. Or even worse, I consider this worse. The Ducks have a lead going into the last couple of minutes of action and then blow the lead. They didn't do that. They did the exact opposite of that. They didn't blow a lead. They let the other team blow a lead and force overtime. That's a sign of resilience, folks. That's a sign of a young team. I mean, this is still a young team, and this is still a sign of a young team, but this is a young team that is very slowly growing up. They are going through the growing pains, okay? So I take it as a good sign that despite all of that, they managed to begin to get more shots on net towards the end of the game. With about 3 minutes left, they were starting to play a little bit more aggressive, which I wish they would have done all game, but this is Colorado. They are still a good team despite their record. Colorado is still one of the toasts of the league. That being said, comeback is good. My other very good sign, despite the overtime loss, is Lukas Dostal. Dostal is still one of the preeminent goaltenders in the National Hockey League. Yes, I consider him now not a bad goaltender, not average. I think he's starting to slowly creep up the ranks as far as goaltending is concerned. This was one of his best performances to date. Lukas Dostal had an incredible performance for the Ducks, stopping 45 of 49 shots in over 3 periods. This was a truly remarkable game, including a couple of key stops in the 3rd period, which could have extended the lead for Colorado and didn't. A couple of good kick saves here. A very good, talk to the glove because I don't want to see it get past me kind of saves. Those are the kind of saves that a quality veteran goaltender will tend to make. Yes, I'm calling him a veteran goaltender, even though he's still young, but I am certainly calling him a quality goaltender. That is what you want out of your, hopefully now, number one goalie. You want the big saves. You want the clutch saves. You want the kind of saves that will keep your team in it and give your team just a little bit of confidence here and there to keep your team in the game. And those saves, they were piling up, especially in the second period when the Ducks got outshot. An astounding 17-3. Yes, 17-3. The Ducks got outshot by a lot. In fact, shot attempts in that second period, you ready for this? Was a whopping, this pains me to say this, 36-10. Shot attempts in the second period, 36-10 in favor of the Colorado Avalanche. This according to Natural Stat Trick. Oh, that's bad. But I will tell you, the expected goals for this game certainly favored one goalie. The expected goals for this game in Colorado, 5.57 to 2.71, and I'll give you one guess in 1 second as to who got the expected goals for 5.57. Yeah, it's the Avs. The Avs were expected to score 5.5 goals. They only scored 4, and it took overtime to get that fourth goal, which was a nice goal, by the way. But the expected goals against for Colorado, 2.71. Yeah, their goaltender was a goaltender. This is me being real. Alexander Georgiev is not exactly one of those preeminent goalies in the National Hockey League, but it is what it is. Ever since, the days of Philip Grubauer, Colorado hasn't had a truly superstar or even a star goaltender. We reserve that for the likes of someone like Igor Shesterkin or Andrei Vasilevsky, for example. But Georgiev, not that guy. Lukas Dostal becoming that guy. That's what I think is a good sign of what's going to be a fantastic goalie in the near future. I mean, I've said it several times. I'm going to keep saying it. Dostal is the goaltender of the future. 3 starts in 4 games. We'll likely get another start coming up either in the freeway faceoff, which is good for the Ducks because, hey, at least the Ducks aren't trotting out John Gibson against the LA Kings. Hooray. So that's what's going on. My good signs. All right. We're going to step aside for a quick minute, and I'm going to talk about, Lukas Dostal a little bit more and talk about why this is still a good start for the Anaheim Ducks. Stay locked in, folks. And now a brief word from PrizePicks. And folks, PrizePicks is one of the better daily fantasy sports out there, which is accessible to all. And you pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win several times your cash. In fact, you can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Look, PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And if my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. You heard that right, 15 minutes. You think that Troy Terry is going to score against the Los Angeles Kings? Or maybe you're a Kings fan and you think that Adrian Kempe is going to score against the Ducks. Maybe not with John Gibson on the net, but you never know. So, let's do this. Download the app today. Do it right now. I'll be waiting. All right, you downloaded it yet? Good. Now use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Once again, download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Once again, PrizePicks. Run your game. We're also brought to you by FanDuel, which is America's #1 sportsbook, and it is football season. We are really deep into the football season, and you can get a big return on FanDuel. Let's say you get a hunch in the middle of a football game. You can check out the latest stats, view live, play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You can get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com, the official sports betting partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. And please, folks, gamble responsibly. Welcome back to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Once again, you're locked in with Jason Hernandez on this bonus episode, this bonus weekend episode, before the freeway face-off against the Los Angeles Kings. I'll talk about that very briefly at the end, but I want to continue talking about Lukas Dostal nearly saving the day. With that many saves, Dostal already has accumulated a save percentage of .927, a goals against of 2.64, much better than his average marks in the National Hockey League, but .927 already a big improvement over his .907, .901, .902 from previous seasons. Lukas Dostal is one of the better goalies in the league as of right now. Yes, it is a small sample size. Yes, it is over 3 games, 182 minutes because of the overtime, obviously. But just looking at the shot attempts, he's had so far, he has only allowed, not many goals. He's got 109 shot attempts already. All right, that's kind of a lot. He's averaging, you ready for this? He's averaging 37 shots against per game almost. Oh, that's a little bit too many. We're leaving poor Lukas Dostal out to dry, but to his credit, he is stepping up big time, getting clutch save after clutch save. He is 2-0-1, his first loss of the season, coming in overtime. So, hey, the Ducks have 5 points on Lukas Dostal starts, so that's pretty good. That's very good for Lukas Dostal, in fact. I would even go so far as to say that Dostal, this is his time, and he is now arrived in the National Hockey League. As of right now, as far as players that are in net, he's one of the better goalies as far as save percentage is concerned. Tops in the league right now goes to Connor Hellebuyck with a .952 save percentage. Or sorry, not Hellebuyck. Jake Allen, .974 save percentage. Jake Ottinger, .953. Hellebuyck, .952. Stolars has a .937 save percentage. That's very good. And then right there, Lukas Dostal, .927. He is one of the top goalies in the league right now. Definitely above league average right now. Better than Joey Daccord. Better than Linus Ullmark. Better than a lot of players right now across the league. Better than Jeremy Swayman, who, by the way, has been struggling a little bit. Swayman only a .905 save percentage right now. Ooh. Better than Vasilevsky, .901 save percentage. Oh. So Dostal's doing fine. Yes, again, small sample size, but this is a good start. This is a better start than we've seen for Lukas Dostal in recent memory. So I see no reason to believe that he cannot keep this up, right? Right? Yeah. He should keep this up. And this is still a good start for the Anaheim Ducks. They are 2-1-1 right now, 5 points. If you look at the standings at this very moment, the Ducks are right now kind of right there as far as points percentage is concerned. They've only played 4 games. Everyone else has played 5 or 6 games. But as far as points percentage, Calgary Flames somehow at the top, 900 percentage. The Seattle Kraken are second with 667. Then the Ducks at 625. With a game against the Los Angeles Kings. If the Ducks can win one of these next 2 games, they could have 7 points across 6 games, still above 500, still very good. And the Ducks will continue to get more games as they start to catch up in the schedule. And with this schedule coming up, they got the Los Angeles Kings. John Gibson, of course, not going to start, which is good news for the Ducks because the Kings, for some reason, have John Gibson's number. They do. So if the Ducks can manage a victory against the Los Angeles Kings, they will have one of their better starts in recent memory. And in fact, I will talk about that more on the next podcast, which will be on Monday after the Kings game. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. All right. I think we're just going to wrap it up because this is a bonus episode. So we're just going to wrap it up here. But I did promise a quick episode before the next game. And I just wanted to get this out there as you all are driving towards the Ponda to check out the freeway face-off between the Los Angeles Kings and the Anaheim Ducks. That being said, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. You could follow me on Twitter X at StimpyJD. The show's Twitter X is at LO_Ducks. You could email me at lockedonanaheimducks@gmail.com. And don't forget, this podcast is free and available across all platforms, including Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, ad-free on Amazon, also on YouTube. So check us out there. Thank you for making this your first listen. Go ahead and make Locked On NHL your second listen of the day, if you choose to do so. And once again, thank you all so much for your continued support. It is incredibly appreciated. For Locked On Anaheim Ducks, I'm Jason Hernandez saying have a great rest of the weekend. Please remember to be safe out there. Please be kind to yourself and be kind to one another. And Ducks fly together.